Praise Andraste, shield brother. Let's give these filthy Romans a piece of our mind, and show them that the Isle of Britonia is not to be conquered. Hey Strat fans, it's me, Colonelstrat, the strategy extraordinaire here, and today I'm diving into one of the barbarian tribe in Rome 2, the Iceni. The Isle of Britannia is shrouded in mists, and in the ancient world it was seen as a land that was full of mystery, but also because it's isolated from all of Europe, they have a very unique start position. So today I'm going to dive into all the things that make the Iceni great. They do have some nice buffs on top of their strategic position being very favorable as well. They can hassle with the other Celtic tribes and finally get the whole island of Britannia conquered, and then you can just sit back and wait for the Romans to show up, you know, because they're going to be fighting all the other barbarians. If you like these guys here, and if you like what I do, remember to leave a like, comment down below, check a sub my way if you like the content real much, and let's dive into the Iceni and see why the people of Andraste are meant to be conquerors.
Your people are warriors, but you seek to live in harmony with your kin. The Decay have chosen to disrupt your peace and bring harm to your people. So stopping them must be your first order of business. The Brigantes are also unreliable and should be dealt with by any means possible. Finally, the Belgic Atrebates leave you little choice but war after their many attempts to settle your lands. However, you share no bad blood with the Damnonii, so they may prove valuable allies when you cross the narrow sea. By the will of Andraste, the Iceni will never yield.
They shall never yield. So you start in a kind of predictable situation. You got these guys right here, the Demante. It's just the Welsh. Pretty much you're just going to be focused on consolidating. We can take Ireland as well. Going to be even better because there's only a few settlements on the Isle of Britain. But if we can get it all, we're British. We're British, you know. We'll be able to do it. We're hardy people. So the first thing I do with a little bit of cash I got, about 6 grand, I'm going to build a fortified settlement. I'm going to expand the city and build enclosed land, because that's the thing with the barbarian buildings. You can build a food enclosed land. The craftsman's house helps you get some skirmishers. The artsman's lodging gives you a sword band. Commons gives you some money, and then the sacred enclosure is your religious building. The warrior lodge gives you some bonuses to your recruitment, so that helps. And then of course you can always get the fisherman. You usually get the fisherman's wharf, even though the harbor can give you some recruitment for some raiders. They are good at raiding, not as good as the Germans are, but they are. So I'm going to get some enclosed land right now. I'll get the artisan's lodging, that way I don't have to remove it later. For our army, we have some levy freemen and some Briton slingers. The Briton slingers are actually decent, the freemen not so much. And then we have some chariots, which are really good. For this army here, we have mercenary spearmen. Mercenaries are unique, not just to Britain, but to everyone. You get some Celtic warhounds, spear band, slingers. They change depending on what you've researched and what you've built as well. And of course, we have a chariot again. The Celts, believe it or not, like their chariots. What I first do is I try to scout out, deal with this faction first, but they don't have a big army, so I try to take my king, I put the army that he has into this one, because they're both of the same house, and then we'll go this way. He's gonna go back to Kummeldun. We have military access already. Oh, looky there, there's Stonehenge. So Britannia is right here, and that's Caledonia. So eventually we'll have to consolidate Britannia. We could fester relations with these guys, become the Federation. I think it's the Celtic Federation, and then get these guys as well. So there's 2 ways to conquer Britannia. Depends on what your playstyle is. If you want to just destroy everybody and get it, then you can. If you think like you want to be the Celtic Federation, you can too. I usually get fly forging. That gives me a whole lot of missile ammunition for my missile units as well as unlocking the tree. So that's always good. For our trade finances, I'll keep it steady right now until we can get these guys kicked out, and then let's go into our faction. So our faction right now, pretty good. We have me and my brother, Adiatrix and Landia, and then Ranoctrix here. We're gonna marry him, someone new. Let's see if we got lucky. No. arrogant wife. And then that's our heir right here. I'm actually going to increase his gravitas first before I increase my wife's gravitas, and then my brother's, and then his wife. Gravitas all around helps because that's the Iceni. And then the only other one we have is the Seahorse clan. They start okay with a good amount of senators, but a lot of loyalty too. We're a kingdom, so it's not like we have a whole lot of problems. I think we can actually become an empire or a union. The empire is what everyone aspires to be. For diplomacy purposes, the Brigantes don't favor us, so they might declare war if you are too attacky with these guys, but these guys love you. You're all the same blood though. Even the Caledonites, you still are the same blood. But eventually, after you consolidate Britannia, you may want to look to the Caledones and take them out as well. And eventually you'll discover Ireland and you'll want to take them out too. But consolidating Britannia, I usually consolidate it fairly early. I'd say by 2775 or so. It really doesn't take long to consolidate it. You just have to get a whole bunch of troops, like levy freemen, Britain slingers, and then once you get these, you'll be able to get sword bands, which are going to trump the enemy's levy freemen. So that's usually what I go for. That's why I go for this as soon as possible, so I can get sword bands, defeat the Brigantes, and then the Iskas. Sometimes they get taken out by one of the Gaullist factions, so if they're not doing so hot, like they don't have a lot of military or they're engulfed in war here, I might take them out preemptively. That way I don't have to worry about Britannia being occupied by a foreign power. But that's pretty much the cover of the campaign. You know, you just build up Cumaldun, and if you preemptively take out the Dementor right here, then hopefully you have enough time to reorganize before the Brigantes declare on you. But after you take them out, then you pretty much consolidate Britannia and then push on to the Caledones and Eblana. Now I'm going to go into some army compositions for the Iceni, so I will meet you guys on the battlefield. Alright, so here we are. Got a force of sword bands, some Britain slingers, some levy freemen, and chariots. We're going to move forward against these Gauls. We're facing them over Stonehenge. Okay, I'll take it. Let's advance through. Don't want to have them tired, so we're marching through. And that force is kind of small. They're probably hiding some of them. See, we have levy freemen too. Our levy freemen are Celts. Our sword bands are probably going to be the deciding factor, because it's going to be the ones that cut through the enemy freemen. Alright, we're approaching them, and we're getting close to them, so let's... Alright. Get stuck in.
The men are wavering.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. We lost a lot of levy freemen because of these slingers. Let's get the chariots back here. There we go, we're in the thick of it. Swords are just really good against spears. Okay. Alright, let's go against these guys. Oh, I didn't know they were missile chariots. Oh, I didn't know they were missile chariots.
Pressing the melee button
Yeah, I know. I've done this stuff before. There we go. Deal with them. There we go. We countered them. We got them surrounded. They're done for. Even these beer nobles.
The enemy general is dead.
Yeah, they're done for. Alright. Let's continue just while I talk. Oh man, that was good. That was a good strategy. We dealt with a lot of them. Our freeman against them. Oh, and he just nope. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, I love these little animations. They're great. Alright, that's pretty much a tier 1. You're going to have nothing but, you can rely heavily on your sword band to defeat the enemy levy freemen, because they're going to be levering a lot of freemen against you as well. So that's the key to tier 1. So I will catch you guys in a tier 2. Alright, here we are with our tier 2 army. So we got a little bit of different stuff. Same slingers, but we do have some painted ones, which are painted. Very low armor, almost no chance to deflect anything coming at them, but they are highly aggressive. And then we also have our ambushers, which are pretty much painted ones, just sneaky. So you could kind to choose between the two, they're just a little sneakier. And then I actually added some spear bands by this time. So these guys are decent, but again, their armor is not great, so they're not going to do as hot as normal guys like Romans and shit. And then we have the chariots, and then I've also added some warhounds. The Celtic warhounds are a really good unit. You'll usually get them in a mercenary capacity at first, but eventually you should be able to recruit them normally, so eventually they become very, very formidable. They're a DLC unit, but they still do pretty well. So that's tier 2. Let's go in this attack against the Gauls, the Boyai. Let's keep going. We're going to close in on the Boyai. They don't have many skirmishers. They have some Celtic warriors, some things like that. The Celtic warriors have a little bit more armor than us. So again, that's why the balance of power is kind of, you know, balanced, even though we have better melee attack and defense stats, I think. 2 slingers per enemy ranged unit. And already they're starting to retreat. Let's get these Britons down. Yeah, oof. Yeah, they're taking a lot of casualties, but we're taking some too. Our painted ones take a lot of casualties, but again, they're just so ferocious. They're able to do so much more damage, way more melee attack than they do defense. It's just when they take damage, they take it hard. Alright.
The battle is turning in our favor.
Yep, stop. Fire at will. Yep, there we go. Release the hounds. Release them. Alright, let's focus on those guys. Get the Oak Swarm dead. Deal with them. Yeah, here they come. But the Oak Swarm are pretty much dead.
Our general is under attack.
Get the general out of there. There we go. Oh, they just turn tail. Get the chariots. Get them with the chariots. Oh, yeah. There we go. Where are our dogs? There they are. They're just biting at them. Yeah, there we go. And then the dog handlers, too, attack as well. So it's not just the dogs. That was a tier 2. Not too bad of a problem. Let's move on to a tier 3 now. Alright, and for the final one, we have a bit more of an armored host going to go up against a more unarmored host in the Germans. I've changed out my general on chariots to a general on foot because the heroic nobles are really good. Now, I think you can get the heroic nobles in game. I haven't checked for a while, but the chosen are just as good, if not a little bit better, because they don't have the high cost. Because I know that the heroic nobles were really, really high cost. But there is a mod that I use, the High Kingsguard, and it just adds a super heavy unit for the barbarian factions of the Britons and Germans. I play with it all the time because it's a really good mod, and you know, it's balanced because you have to get to a very end tier of the game to be able to even use the unit, but the units, as you would expect, super insane. We're going to be facing off against the Germans here, the Swaby. So let's get our chosen. I think they're hiding behind the ridgeline here, so we'll have to get a little bit creative. They're firing at us. Try to take out their woman in the back, because that will cause some damage, but our super heavy guys are able to deal with them. They're going to try to hit our general, so we can raise banner. There we go. Our chosen band. And then we're getting into the spear levies back here.
In our favor.
Shield guys. There's the wolf warriors. They're not doing so hot against our chosen. And we're just bracing. Get out of there. Get out of there. You don't need to be in there. You need to be firing at these Wamada's spears right here and all these guys. That's who you need to be firing at. Those spear walls, they're not doing so hot. Why are they going in a formation like that? Come on, guys.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Oh, they're gone now. The dogs over there. There's spear levies, and then these special spear guys have just died. Come on.
One of our units has used
cut
all
him
its
down.
ammunition.
There we go. Well, let's continue. Oh, cut down the woman. Yeah.
One of our units.
These advisors get on my nerves. Oh, we won the battle. Oh, yeah, we destroyed them. We only lost a little bit of these chosen right here because they took a little bit heavy. But yeah, our dogs crazed for blood. But yeah, that was our tier 3. As you can see, the Britons, as they get to tier 3, they become very, very formidable because they get their armor. It's still not as armored up as the Romans are, but they're able to do toe-to-toe with them. And with their add-on mercenaries like the Warhounds or the Slingers, because the Slingers do pretty decent damage too. The Chosen do so much, and again, if you can add the Nobles, good on you. But I think they're just too cost-heavy for me to recommend it. So let's wrap this up now, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so that was the Britons, the Iceni. So I hope you guys enjoyed my guide of the Iceni. They start a little rough because they have to start all barbarian factions with shirtless men with spears and swords, but as you consolidate and build up better forces over time, you eventually will be able to reach tier 3 with your Chosen and just dominate the world and destroy the Roman and drive them back out of Britannia. And because you're on an island, it's natural defense against an army because they have to embark on sea and they lose all their momentum when they do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and of course remember, as always, Strat fans, to keep it strategic. Colonel out.